I thought it would be fun today to make some pastel colors out of some of my favorite watercolors. So I've got my Daniel Smith, my M-Gram, and my Winsor and Newton Professional here. And I've got this little palette that I got off Amazon, and this is from Meeden. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's just a cute little palette that will hold 12 pans. And it comes with 14 actually, so you have 2 extra. But it's just this really cute palette that opens up and you can keep them in here. So I thought it would be cute to keep them in there, and I loved the top of it, and I thought, well, that would be perfect for some pastel colors. Now, I've got my Winsor and Newton white watercolor here, but as you can see in this swatch, it's not that opaque, so I'm kind of thinking I might use my M-Gram white gouache for this, because I want them to be opaque enough that if I want to go over top of my watercolors, I can. But also if I just want some pastel colors, I can too. So I'll probably do some swatches with both of these and see which combination I like better. But that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to get out my palettes, do some swatching, see what colors I like the best, and then we'll go ahead and make them and put them in the palette, and then we'll, you know, let them set and do some final swatches. Okay, so these are how the swatches turned out, and I'm going to lift this up so you can see them pretty good. I tried to make them as consistent as possible between the watercolor one and the gouache one. So on the left-hand side is the watercolor swatch, and on the right-hand side is the gouache. And then I ended up just putting a dab of the watercolor by itself, and I tried to get it pretty concentrated so I would be able to see the difference. And I've kind of gone back and forth by picking a few colors, and I had decided, you know what, this is supposed to be a fun, colorful, bright palette, so that's what I'm going to make it, because I had originally chose this lamp black and these 2 ochres to go in too, because I liked them on their own, but the purpose of this was to make a nice, bright, colorful palette. So what I decided to go with was the Daniel Smith Opera Pink, Daniel Smith Quinacridone Magenta, M-Gram Cobalt Teal, M-Gram Azo Yellow, Azo Orange, Dioxazine Purple, and Ultramarine Blue, Phthalo Green, and Raw Umber, all from M-Gram. And then I'm going to put in the Winsor and Newton Hooker's Green because I really like how this stays pretty bright, even though you put the white into it. So I'm hoping if I can get it a little bit lighter than that, it'll still keep its nice bright green color. And then I'm going to also put in this Pyrrole Orange from Daniel Smith. And this is just like a crazy bright, it almost looks neon. And it's funny because when I was first swatching it down, it looked pink to me. But as it dried, it just turned like this really nice neonish kind of orange. So I figured that would be a nice contrast to this one. And then I've also got this Phthalo Blue from Daniel Smith. So I think that's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, I counted correctly. So what I'm going to do is I've got all the tubes laid out here that I'm going to pick. I've got the M-gram watercolor in titanium white, and I picked this over the gouache just because I wanted to keep it watercolor, right? I could have gouache, and I have a couple of gouache sets anyway, so as I was thinking about it, I thought, you know, I might as well just do the watercolor one, and then this will, you know, stick with my watercolor theme when I'm doing those kind of artworks. And then if I want something more opaque, I can pick from my gouache sets. So I've got these little pans, and I've got this paper clip here that I just pulled out because I couldn't find a toothpick or anything in my house, and I'm gonna try my best to pour them in and mix them up. And I've got some just some scrap arches paper here that I'll try to do some swatches on and to try to get them as light and bright as possible. And I'm probably going to end up time-lapsing this, but I don't want this video to be too long, but I feel like a lot of people like to see watercolor swatching stuff. So let me know if you want to see more stuff like this, because I can certainly do that. Okay, so these were the colors that I managed to create. I'm really happy with how they all turned out. However, for this one, I ended up taking my M-gram burnt sienna, and I did about a 50-50 mix between the raw umber and the burnt sienna because I was really looking for like that chocolate brown color, and what it was giving me was just sort of like a darker muted brown. And I really wanted a little bit of warmth into it because it's really hard to find a nice like pastel chocolate brown. So if you're looking to make your own, I did about a 50-50, and then I'd say a little bit, about 50% of the white as well. Play around with that, but that's what I ended up doing, and I really love how these pastel colors are looking, how they turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and let them sit for about maybe a day or two. A lot of them are, you know, honey based, or they've got binders that don't completely harden like Winsor and Newton, so they might stay a little bit tacky still, which is fine because that's how the paint's meant to be. But we'll let them sit for at least a day, and then I'll come back and swatch them, and we'll put them in my nice little palette here. And I do want to say, so the M-Gram white watercolor that I have is 15 mils, and I'd say I used about half of it. Yeah, about half of it. And the reason I didn't mind using this up is because I had put it in my M-Gram palette like a few months ago, swatched it on the swatch card, and haven't used it since. So I figured this would be a good way to end up using it up, and then I'll have some pretty pastel colors. So we'll let these dry, and we'll come back and do some swatches. Okay, so this is what the colors look like once they've set for a couple of days. And they cracked a little bit more than I thought they would have, using like the watercolor white as the base rather than gouache. If I was using gouache, I figured they would have cracked this much. I'm going to hold that up so you can kind of see them. But the colors that are left are significantly lighter, and they're still really pretty. So I'm hoping they're going to swatch out lighter than their original colors. So these are the original colors from the tubes here that I picked. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch them all out on this side. And I'm hoping I just get a lighter, more pastel version of them. And I think even though they cracked, they're still going to be usable. But I'm going to go ahead and swatch, and then we'll see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just love how these colors came out. They are so pretty. They are exactly what I was hoping for, to just be more pastel versions and just a little bit more opaque than their original versions. I just love how these came out. Now, I did notice that the cobalt teal, the hooker's green, and the raw umber, like burnt sienna mix to make that chocolate brown, they were slightly less opaque than the rest of the colors, but I just added a little bit more over top of it, and they just came out so beautiful. I'm so impressed with how these colors turned out, and I'm so pleased that I decided to go ahead and create this like little custom pastel palette. Now, I did go ahead and swatch the colors concentrated on this. So this is my Etchr cold pressed watercolor book, sketchbook. And this is just a piece of Arch's cold press paper that I put down. And I feel like these aren't completely dry yet, but I feel like on the Arch's cold press, they're even more opaque and like even more bright colors, but very pastel. It's like very bright pastel, so you can get them more watered down or have them still opaque and bright. And I just love how these all turned out. Also, I just wanted to mention that the colors themselves were super easy to re-wet. Just like any of these colors in a palette, you only need really a few brush strokes to re-wet them, and the same goes with this. So I thought, you know, using the white as a binder, it would be a little more difficult to pick up the pigment, and it was super easy to re-wet them. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below of what you think I should try next, or any video topics that you would like to see. And thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!